All right. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to another episode of the Huevos con Weenies podcast. I'm Jay the Creator, and over here we got Purple Suns.
Hello.
And before we start the show, I just want to give a special shout out to one of our cousins' business pages.
Okay.
Now, one of them is called Glitz and Greens. That's GLITZNGREENZ. You can find them on Instagram at that name. And they sell customized rolling trays and customized pipes and bongs.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's
There
pretty
we
dope.
go. If you want a cool ass bong,
Hit 'em up.
or hit them up. Check out the page.
And then they have another page. This one's a little bit more difficult. Hang with me here. It's also on Instagram at x.toxic. That's TOXIC_lust LUST.x on
There you go.
Instagram, and they sell crystals.
Crystal meth.
Just regular crystals.
Okay.
Not crystal meth.
Okay. So same cousin owns that too.
Yeah.
Okay. See, we support our local businesses. Not only that, but family businesses.
Yep.
So there we go.
Gotta take care of our own.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so
So how
We're
you
gonna-
been, man? How's it going?
from the day I saw you yesterday, I've been
It was
okay
a long
for the
time
most
ago.
part.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah,
I mean, hours ago.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually scared right now
Why?
because I don't know how this podcast is gonna go. Because we literally recorded a fucking amazing podcast yesterday,
Yeah.
and
this
now
one's
we're
scary.
back trying to get ahead one podcast.
So, we'll see how this turns out.
Yeah.
But you know what? We got our Black Rifle coffee here, which is 300 milligrams of caffeine, and we're downing it like some caffeine addicts. Look at that. You hear that chug? Don't choke on that, man.
Oh yeah, hopefully it kicks in soon. Because if it doesn't, then we should have had some kratom or something
Oh, yeah.
instead.
Well, we could always edit it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, if it doesn't turn out good, we'll just scrap it.
Yeah.
And then So yeah, sorry I didn't ask you how you were doing.
I'm doing fantastic. I woke up around noon today.
I woke up shitty.
Yeah. I saw you were already messaging at like 10 a.m. Like, damn.
Yeah, I responded back to people at 10 a.m. and I shouldn't have done that because when I just wake up and I see that I have messages from people,
Yeah.
it's never good for me to just immediately message them back because I'm not thinking.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I just write blank statements and then I reread it back later and it's just, I like sound mean in my responses,
Yeah. Or it's
When-
like that time when you woke up, you said you were groggy and you accidentally called the cops
Oh
for
yeah,
some reason.
oh my God, dude. I don't know fucking how I accidentally called 911.
I
And
guess
the
iPhones really make it easy.
operator on the phone was like sounded genuinely concerned for me. Like, sir, do you need any help? I'm like, oh no. I'm sorry, I accidentally called you guys. I'm sorry. I apologize. And then
Oh,
I
shit.
hung up.
Dang. Well, at least you were polite.
And I felt so bad.
But it must have
still,
been freaky just realizing who you were calling.
I was like, oh shit, yeah, because people they get charged with fucking around,
yeah.
calling 911 for no
Yeah.
reason.
Like,
And
I wonder if you get a fine or do you go to jail
I think some people go to jail. It depends on how much.
if you keep doing it?
Yeah.
Ah,
I think you can get a fine if it's like a first time offense.
okay.
But also it depends on how you lied about it. Because somebody could like file a false police report, like, oh, I
Ooh.
heard somebody at this house getting murdered.
Then you could go to jail
Then
for
you
that.
could, then you can go to jail for that.
Yeah. Yeah, there was one case. It was like an apartment complex, and there was like a downstairs neighbor and an upstairs neighbor. But the downstairs neighbor, apparently he had his, audio system too loud. I guess they were watching movies or whatever.
Yeah.
So the guy upstairs, he calls the cops, and he says that, the person downstairs is really, loud, and they said basically like like right now it's kind of early, so it's you can't really be complaining about that unless it's like really really loud. And he just said, yeah, it's as loud as it can be. It's basically over exaggerated it,
Yeah.
making it seem like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then the cops came over and they ended up um shooting the guy that answered the door.
What?
Yeah, he answered the door, and I guess he had a gun, but the cops, when they knock on your door, they step to the side, so you're not able to see them through the little peephole.
Okay.
So the guy downstairs thought it was suspicious because apparently he had uh, weeks have went on where people would just knock at his door, like trying to fuck with him. So he thought this was similar. And the cops knocked on the door, stepped to the side, and they didn't really show who they were. And then the guy came out, with the gun like on his side, and then the cops saw it, and then they immediately shot him and killed him.
Oh, God damn it, man.
Yeah, it's tough to watch.
It's shit like that then that makes it seem like why the fuck do we even have the Second Amendment
Why
if
even
we're
have a
not
gun?
allowed to, protect ourselves with it?
Yep. Not only that, but it's even worse because
Like the cop didn't address themselves from what you've told me. They didn't
or
address
maybe not
themselves.
even loud enough because remember the guy has music going on. I guess
Yeah.
they were watching a movie because his girlfriend was right there as well in the apartment. But not only that, but there was another part where he opens the door and then the cops kind of stepped up to him, but they're flashing the light on his face and he can't really see who they are either to put his gun down, but he has it. It's not like he has it like this. He just has it to the side.
Yeah.
But yeah, they still shot him. So not only did they hide themselves when they knocked, probably for safety reasons, right? They don't want to be right in front of the door. But also they flashed the light in his face as soon as he opened the door, so he didn't see who it was either. Like he was blinded.
That's such
and then
bullshit,
shot.
man. Yeah. That's why I don't open the door for shit, man.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to say something to me, I'll talk to them through the door.
Yeah.
It's happened to me twice when the people that came over to my house at 3:30 in the morning.
So you never opened the door?
Fuck no, man. I didn't have no weapon on me.
Yeah.
So
like, did they ever come back or just those,
no, it was
those
just
two
that,
times?
Yeah, just that one day.
Yeah.
2 guys on the same day came to my house looking for somebody.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they recently started making those homeless people, leave their camps basically.
Yep.
So
the leak is cleared now. And it looks a lot better.
You just doxed yourself.
Fucking stupid. I'll edit that out.
The creek, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the creek. The creek looks a lot better.
Yeah, the creek does look better.
All right, hold on. Just let me make sure. Edit that out. All right, the creek looks a lot better.
The creek looks better because they made everyone evacuate it.
Yeah.
Is that how you would phrase it? Evacuate it, or is there?
I mean,
word for
it? They went in there and like fucking beat on everybody till they left. So I mean, I guess it's a It's a form of evacuation.
Yeah.
Tearing down the tents and shit.
Burning it.
Lighting shit on fire. I don't think it goes to that extent, but yeah, dude.
Like damn.
I kind of feel bad for the homeless people though, because they don't have anywhere else to go.
Well, they have shelters.
Even then, I don't think.
Well,
because of COVID,
they offered them to stay at hotels, and a lot of them refused. Only 16 actually accepted, but the rest of them didn't. Yeah, I was just reading an article today.
Do you think like within the homeless community, there's like they have like their own version of QAnon? Like, no, don't listen to the city council. They're gonna send us over to the FEMA camps.
Oh, probably.
You ever think so?
I mean, a lot of them have mental health issues too, so
yeah,
they tend to believe crazy things, and yeah, and some of them just like being homeless, the lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, homeless people are what we dream to be: free, no responsibilities whatsoever in the world,
Mm-hmm.
You can go wherever you want. Nobody bothers you.
Yeah, I
You know,
mean, it's got to
except
be
for
kind
other
of
homeless
liberating,
people.
right? Just knowing that you don't have a car payment, no
No car payment, no house
bills.
payment.
Like,
You could buy $2 beers,
yeah.
without doing any work.
And at that moment, you will be very happy.
Yeah.
But
It's,
then, yeah, it wears off and you realize,
it would be cool to have stuff.
yeah,
I mean, I'm sure at some point, yeah, throughout your homelessness, you think to yourself, it would be cool to have stuff.
you have to make that decision for yourself at some point, I imagine, when you're homeless. Like, how am I going to live? Is this what I want my whole life?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of resources to help them out too. But,
Until, yeah,
whether they take the help or not.
I'll never know what kind of struggles homeless people go through unless, one day I become homeless, but that's never going to fucking happen.
Yeah.
I'm not going to become homeless just to experience it. What the fuck?
Yeah. Does your ex roommate listen to this podcast?
No.
Okay. Yeah, she was basically inviting this guy over to visit some homeless camps as a date trip.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that shit was fucking weird.
Yeah.
At least to me.
And you didn't take the offer?
Fuck no. What the fuck am I going to do? Waste that whole day? Waste my time just looking at homeless camps? Like, the fuck? I'm just going to go there and look at them? That's weird.
Yeah. Like some zoo animals or whatever?
Yeah, it's like, wow, look at that one. No.
Look at that one.
I don't know. That shit's just weird to me.
How do you present yourself if they're in their tent? You're going to knock on their tent?
That's how you end up getting stabbed with needles, dude.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you have AIDS.
Yeah.
All because you wanted to say hi to some homeless people.
Well, the area is also littered with needles too. In general, here, there's been a needle problem.
There's a lot, yeah. Even before the homeless issue, there's been
gotta be watching out for them needles.
Huge drug problem here.
Yeah. So, that's California for you.
Yep, it's that North County crank.
Yeah. Yeah, California, man. When it comes to homelessness, it's terrible.
Definitely remember in
the situation.
It was in San Francisco. There was a realtor that went around buying all the homeless people bus tickets to Anaheim.
Oh, that's dirty and smart at the same time.
Like over the span of a week, like a shitload of homeless people just disappeared. And the more they looked into it, that's when they found out that it was the realtor that that sent everybody away.
He must have been paying a fortune.
And technically what he did wasn't illegal. But just on a moral
maybe he asked them, like, do you want to, if I buy you a
of
bus
course,
ticket,
yeah, he
you want
didn't
to take
force
a trip?
them,
Get in this bus.
Yeah. He must ask them, like, oh, you want to go to Anaheim? I heard it's really good over there. It's very sunny, you're near the beach. You must have had some sort of spin on
beach.
that. Yeah.
And then they go.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, if you present it like that, it's actually kind of,
enticing.
It's enticing if you're a homeless person. Like, yeah, it's fucking cold here.
I'll be near Disneyland.
I could go to the beach.
Apparently now, even on your way to Disneyland, you'll see a shitload of homeless people, which is very upsetting because, I'm trying to go to Disneyland and have a good time. I don't want to walk there and see all these fucking homeless tents. You know what I mean? It's like, get out of here.
The situation.
Go to Alaska or something.
Yeah. Is there any homeless people in cold areas, like where it snows?
I can't. Oh, actually, there is.
How?
Yeah.
If you sleep outside, you'll freeze to death. Like all those negative, 20-degree places. There's no way.
I don't even know. I remember seeing a video of an Uber driver who let a homeless guy chill out in his car.
What?
But it was during one of the snowy seasons, so it's not like he was in Alaska.
But still, snowy season. Yeah. How are you even gonna sleep outside?
I'm sure they have some underpass that doesn't collect snow a lot. They have a fire going on.
Do one of those old school barrel things where you light up a fire.
Yeah.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah, that's another thing I was curious about. What happens to homeless people when they die? Like, do they get cremated? They get buried?
I'm almost certain they get buried, but they get put into like
a mixed burial.
Maybe. I don't think so. I think they have a specific cemetery for homeless people.
What?
Yeah.
That's
but
crazy.
it's like very minimal. Like they just get like a shitty wooden box,
Yeah.
and then they get put in a hole in the ground, like a regular person. But I think there might be a couple stacked on top of each other.
Ah, in layers.
Yeah.
Dang. Wow.
Mm.
I need to see this.
Yeah, we would. Yeah, let's do some research just to see if I'm right or if I'm bullshitting.
This guy could be making shit up right now.
Yeah, I could be, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah, one of the speaking of, graves and stuff, I think it'd be a cool project to kind of travel, well, not only the United States but also the world to make like a basically like a project where I make like a coffee book. Have you heard of those? Coffee books are kind of big. Sometimes they're small, but they usually consist of like photos and stuff. And you actually place them on your coffee table. But it's like shit that people could look through. But I want some nice full color pictures of different graves throughout the United States, and then maybe even in other countries. You know how like in other countries they have shit from like the 17th century, things like that.
Yeah.
I think that would be a very cool project.
So you want that kind of artwork on your coffee table?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. So
Some for guests to
I
look
would
through.
just need the funds to do it.
Of course, yeah. So traveling to all these different places.
Yeah. And I
I
don't know if
would.
I would be the one taking the pictures or if there would be a photographer doing it for me at these locations
You'd probably
while
have
I'm
to.
there.
I mean, if you want like really good pictures, yeah, you should probably hire a photographer. I would do one, but it would be all World War II stuff.
Oh, that'd be cool.
It's like the Nazi camps, the Jew chambers
Yeah.
where they slept.
Dang, just capturing all that dark shit.
Yeah, and I would put it, you know, all over the table, and then I get like that clear resin,
Yeah.
and I pour that on top so that I'll never move,
Damn.
and I will stay preserved
Oh
on the
shit.
coffee table.
That's
Mm.
intense.
Yeah,
Like, have you seen those cementerios in Mexico? Those are nuts. Like, especially in Mexicali.
I mean, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they look. I mean, the dirt is just different too, but the cemeteries look a little spookier.
They
Like,
do
they
because
look
it's
like
like,
tombs and shit.
yeah,
Shit
they
like
do.
that. Like, really creepy. And there's a lot of spots where the actual headstone is like broken or it's missing
And the
or
family can't afford to fix
family can't
it.
afford it, and there you see some that just don't even say any names on it, but you see like a cross, like a very old wooden cross on the top.
It's like two sticks from like
Yeah,
1896.
so usually those are people who really didn't have family. And yeah,
Yeah,
apparently some of the cemeteries there are like it goes back like 100 years or more, but like damn, these things are old as hell.
oh yeah. Do you ever see those tombs? Well, no, they're kind of like tombs. The graves that they make for members of the cartel.
Oh
They're
yeah, the
like
big
like
fancy ones.
legit like little houses,
They're like
man.
little mansions.
Fuck.
They even have like little replicas of like SUVs and shit, like parked near the cemetery, like where their tombstone is,
Yeah.
like which is a house.
It's like the size of a little house.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Apparently, there's tourists that go there.
Just to look at the
Yeah,
shit, I would go look at them.
I know. Like if I know I'm gonna be rather safe, I know it's not gonna be 100%. But
Yeah.
yeah, if I could get there, and check it out, that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Like just seeing, and they're like the more modern it gets too, like the ones that died recently are just like really flashy. Like it seems like it's getting more ridiculous in a good way.
Yeah.
The more
It's like when
time,
each
like the
person
more,
dies, they want to one up each other,
yeah,
which
like
doesn't make any sense because they're already dead.
like my shit's gonna have a replica Corvette on the front, and it looks like one of those big wheels, like the ones that you buy from like Toys R Us or whatever, the ones
Yeah.
that move,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
a little better,
Yeah.
like more detail.
So that's what's dope about them, you know.
But yeah, it's like a narco cemetery.
That
So
stuff is pretty cool.
that'll be a cool coffee book right there. That needs to make it to the coffee book.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good addition.
Yeah.
Have you speaking of like Mexico, as you know, my great grandpa, your grandpa, passed away many years ago now. Did you ever hear any stories about him from, your mom growing up with him around?
Yeah, he was pretty abusive when when they were kids, my mother
Yeah.
and her sisters and stuff. Yeah, he was like he drank a lot of alcohol, went to the bars, got home, was pretty violent when he got back.
Yeah.
And Abuelita had to kind of um like I wonder how she was. Was she kind of submissive back in the day? Or I don't know what their dynamic was when they were younger,
Oh.
when they were like that age. Whereas now, even when he was alive, she kind of put him in his place whenever he'd get mad and stuff, which
Yeah.
is totally different than
Yeah.
how he used to be or how their dynamic was, I would imagine.
I think that back then, I think she took it a lot,
Mm.
cuz this is from what my grandma told me, cuz my grandma, she would get abused by abuelita a lot
Mm-hmm.
because um uh,
She was
great
like venting or
great
frustrated.
grandma, I know it's kind of confusing cuz it's your grandma, it's my great grandma. So
Oh, yeah.
fuck, I'm so sorry, listeners. I had something stuck in my throat. So great grandma, your abuelita,
Mm-hmm.
she would tell my grandma, your tia, that she hated her because
Whoa.
she looks like her husband's family. So like
Shit.
my grandma looks more like great
Yeah.
grandpa's
His
family,
side of the
and
family.
that's why great grandma, aka your abuelita, would take it out on her a lot,
Fuck.
you know. And yeah, so I think she took it a lot
That's
back then.
nuts. And that happens to a lot of
So she took a lot of abuse, and then she put that abuse onto
yeah.
my grandma, and of
Wow.
course, her other kids as well.
Dang.
Yeah, because I remember once my grandma told me that um, I forgot what had happened, but I think it might have been Pancho. He was a kid. He like fucked around and did something,
Yeah.
and then great grandma hit him like in the nose, and he
Ooh.
started bleeding.
Like bopped him in the nose.
Or
That's
no,
child
she like
abuse.
straight punched him or something. She
Shit.
maybe hit him with something. I can't remember
Right in the
exactly.
face.
Yeah, so but like hard enough to where he was like bleeding from his nose.
Yeah.
And then great grandpa saw it and told her, like, if you ever hit my son again, I'm gonna fucking beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Or some shit like that.
Damn.
So that's how their dynamic was back
And
then.
this was straight up Tijuana, Mexico.
In like
Um
fucking 1920, whatever. Yeah,
so that's crazy.
I know.
Like just imagine
That
TJ
shit was
or
like
just
normal back then.
Mexico. Yeah, it's very traditional, very different. Barely any technology. I mean, technology in general was almost non-existent, barely emerging. But could you imagine? It's just a very old school, strict, like very dark peace time period,
Yeah,
where the man would basically go to work, get drunk, and come home like he did, and be just very strict with his family.
yeah,
It's not like it is today um, where it's I guess it's a little different now than before. I mean, you still see a lot of men working, and there's
yeah.
always like a housewife, but I think loving each other is kind of more accepted these days
Definitely, yeah.
than it was back then, where
Sounds
the woman was basically just the person who ran the household and then had to have food on the table
yeah.
with like barely any
Less
affection
abusive, I
in
would say,
between.
as well.
Yeah,
Nowadays
yeah,
compared to back then.
yeah. So man, like I wish I had a time machine just to check it.
It's weird, yeah. It's weird how that's who they were as people
Mm-hmm.
compared to what we know them as. Because we just see old people like, oh, they're old.
Yeah,
They live their life and now they're just chilling. But no, they used to be like abusers.
like I'm really
You know what I mean?
surprised that they, uh, his children accepted him enough for him to still be in their lives when they, you know, grew older.
After going through all that abuse,
Yeah,
fuck.
I wonder what snapped in his brain where it's like I'm gonna calm down. I wonder what that was like, and if
Maybe
it
it's
was like a
just with
slow
age.
transition,
Yeah.
it's or he just stopped drinking as well at one point as well.
Yeah, as he got older, he didn't drink anymore.
So
Maybe
he
that's
stopped
what it was.
alcohol,
He
so
just
that probably
stopped
helps.
drinking. Yeah.
Yeah. I yeah, I remember even with me and my wife, like there was a point in time where I would drink every day for sure, and then she would be fucked up too, and then we would always have fights like all the time.
Yeah.
But as soon as we stopped that, it basically got almost 100% better. That's
Fuck.
crazy what alcohol could really do to you.
Fucking A nice, man.
Yep.
That's good. Good to
Mhm.
hear that you guys are doing better
Yeah.
compared to what, you once
How it
were.
was before. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember this one story that my grandma told me about great grandpa, about how he went one night he didn't come home and he was like missing,
What?
and they all went out to go find him, and they found him at the cemetery. He was hugging an angel statue
What?
and yelling for his wife. Yeah,
That is nuts.
because of how fucked up he was.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
it was like, I mean, thank God nobody robbed him
Yeah.
or killed him. He's like super fucked up. You could just take his wallet.
Yeah.
What's he gonna do?
But dang, was it nighttime at that point?
It was
Or
no, it was like,
during the day the next
I
day?
assumed, yeah, it was the next day, and I
Uh
think they found him during the day.
but I wonder if he stayed there overnight.
Maybe like just stumbled there at like 3 in the morning and
Yeah.
slept on an
Probably the
angel.
scariest place you could be.
Oh yeah, fucking watch when La Llorona pops up or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, that's another folk tale that you hear growing up as well. La Llorona. And everyone basically gets scared if you even were to mention it, even at night. Like especially at night over there.
It's nighttime. It's typically you're typically in an area where it's pretty rural,
Mm-hmm.
and if you like suddenly hear a woman crying, fuck no, man. I'm going inside. I'm going to bed. I'm praying for the sun to come out.
It's a lot scarier than the movie, that's for sure.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. Like I wonder if it is real though. You know, like with any folk tale, there's hints of truth to things, like
Yeah,
how stories have started, but in terms of the full-fledged story, there's all like a lot of times it's basically just blown out of proportion and becomes a myth
of
and a
course.
folklore.
Yeah,
But that one's always, been
it's
a
been
really
around for a
good one.
while. Yeah,
It's been one of the scarier ones. Scared me
definitely.
as a kid. Shit, it would still scare me if I were to be over there right now.
Hell yeah. It's
Especially
like,
when like the neighborhood that my dad used to grow up with, there's the canals. So
yeah,
that's you can't really speak of La Llorona over there because that's like prime real estate for La Llorona
yeah.
is like that little canal, and it's pretty scary walking through there at night too. Oh yeah, and yeah, the canal was interesting because you've always seen. One time I seen a car that was stuck. Like for some reason, they must have been drunk, I guess, but the car ended up in the canal.
Fuck.
Like, how are you gonna get your car out now, bro? But
Yeah.
how? Like, I don't know. It must have been dark. Maybe they didn't see the canal and they went right into it.
A lot of fuck shit happens in those rural towns,
Yeah.
man. It's probably like the same as small towns here in the U.S. You
Oh,
know,
definitely.
because you have only a certain number of people, and there's probably like that town fuck up that's just always doing something stupid
Like, not
that the
again.
same sheriff has to go out and fix. Like,
Otra
God damn it,
vez.
Bill, that's the third time you knocked down the stop sign
We
this
keep having
week.
to replace this damn thing. No, you need some reflectors on it.
Hmm. Yeah,
That'd be a
but
good investment.
for those small towns, I don't even know how they get their money. You know, I can't imagine they get a lot
Not a
because
lot of jobs, not a lot of money.
yeah, because cops they get their money from writing tickets.
Yeah, they're like
So
revenue collectors
you know,
almost.
if like you're in a small town and there's only like 500 people, there's only a certain number of tickets you can realistically give out.
Everyone's gonna hate you if you
Yeah,
give everyone
so
tickets.
you legit can't give anybody tickets because it's so small. Everybody knows each other. Plus, everybody would notice that, you know, Joe Schmo is giving everybody tickets.
Yeah, that's
That's how fast the word spreads around in those towns.
you'd be pretty hated for sure. Um, but yeah, in small towns, usually there's like one or two cops, the most two, and probably like one receptionist cop.
Ooh, that reminds me of that movie we saw. What was it called? The Dead Don't Die.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I finally figured it out. That movie is a parody of the song. That's why they played the song in the movie like four
constantly.
times.
Oh, so whatever. No wonder the song fit the description really well
Yeah,
of
and
the
then even
movie.
even in the movie, the guy's like, "How do you know all this?" He's like, "Oh, I read the script." He's talking about the song.
Oh,
Like he heard the song, right? And so he knows what's gonna happen.
oh, I thought it was just the character realizing he was in a movie or something,
No, I don't
like
think.
some super meta shit right there.
Yeah, okay. So I believe that the movie is based on the actual song.
Well, yeah, it would make sense now that you say it, because there would be clips of the song, and it would basically describe what's going on in the movie.
There you go.
So it's like they based the movie off of the song. It's perfect. What did you think of the movie overall?
I liked it.
Yeah.
The ending was kind of stupid, but for a parody movie,
Yeah.
I think it was okay.
Yeah. It
You
had the
know,
right amount of, seriousness
humor
and
and
humor
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
Overall, it was a good one. And they seem to have a lot of, known actors too.
Well, hell yeah, they had so many good known actors in that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, what's his name? The guy from Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
Adam Driver,
And you say he does a lot of indie
Bill
movies as well?
Murray. He's doing more.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you know, he's a pretty good actor, I'd say.
Yeah.
'Cause I saw him in another movie with Daniel Radcliffe. That one was called What If? It's about a guy who befriends a girl, but really he wants to be in a relationship with a girl, but she's already has a boyfriend.
Uh,
You know, it's kind of like one of those movies that that has like a meaning behind it. Like, can boys really be friends with girls?
mm.
Which
Do you think that's possible?
I don't think so, man.
It's not possible.
I think like in the back of your head, I mean, you can be friends with women, right?
But there's always
But I think
something
like
behind.
like in the back of your head, you're like, if she wanted to fuck me, I'd probably do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Something like even.
Like if a girl's to tell you, let's say you're widowed, right?
Yeah.
Your wife died in a duck accident, and um, you know, you're a widow. People feel sorry for you. Women are coming to your aid because they see you as like a broken puppy,
Oh, yeah. You're
and
vulnerable.
yep, they befriend you, and you develop friendships. Like, man, fucking Stephanie is a really good friend of mine. And if Stephanie was to tell you, hey, you know, you want to fuck, you'd probably say yes.
Damn.
In that moment, do you think you're gonna say to yourself, "What about the friendship?" No,
Hmm.
you're gonna be like, "Fuck yeah, let's do it."
Yeah, cause I mean, like if you're into women, you're definitely gonna consider it, right?
It would have to cross your mind at least once, like, oh man, I wonder what she looks like naked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm sure that's pretty common. That right
Yeah.
there, that sentence.
Which then leads to, I'd probably bang her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do
So you can't.
why do a lot of guys just ask themselves that? I'd probably bang her, or would I bang her? Yeah, probably bang her.
I mean, we're just programmed to fuck, man. That's
We're
all
like
it is.
monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're monkeys. We're programmed to fuck, spread our seed.
Visual creatures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's just how we were built.
Exactly.
It's a curse.
That's why I
I
can't.
tell you.
That's why I can't stop watching porn. You know.
Oh yeah, speaking of that, you I think you were gonna talk about your depression the last episode as well. Well, the episode before,
Oh
I
yeah, we were
believe.
supposed to get to that, but we didn't have time.
Yeah.
So, I yeah, I was depressed for a while. And I was trying to figure out what the root of it was. And I was laying in bed one day and I had an epiphany that the reason why I was depressed is because I was realizing that life has no meaning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because no, the very basis of life is that you're born, you survive, and then you die.
Yeah.
There's no meaning into that.
And that makes it
It's
all
just
pointless, or
yeah, that makes it all pointless. So, which ties in like, oh, I have all these big dreams. If I'm just gonna, you know, go to the afterlife anyway, why does me chasing a dream even matter? But then I thought to myself, wait a minute. I'm going to be this is what I believe in, right?
mm-hmm.
I'm going to be going to heaven. And from everything that I've gathered, you can't do shit in heaven. Like there's no alcohol, there's no drugs, not that I do drugs,
No butt fucking.
right? No I don't know if you're allowed to have sex in heaven. So,
Well,
I
even
don't
if it was allowed, I doubt you'd be able to do anal.
I don't know. All right? I don't make the rules in heaven,
All you
you
preachers
know.
out there, can you do anal in heaven?
So, there's like a lot of shit that you can't do in heaven, right? You're
Yeah.
like it's very limited what you can do.
Yeah.
So then that like lit a fire in me. I was thinking to myself, wait a minute. If this is my one shot at life, I should be out here chasing the things that I'm probably never going to be able to do again.
Yeah. But doesn't the Bible uh basically restrict you from doing these things anyways? So
I
it's just
mean,
supposed to be you're supposed to be like modeling yourself after, the good book.
I don't
Or
it's
you
not
think there's
that
wiggle room?
it's not that I don't believe in the Bible, but I don't take it as serious as other Catholics
Gotcha.
because the Bible, they're not rules that are set in stone. The Bible is just stories meant to help guide us throughout life,
Gotcha.
right? And even then, the Bible was written by some fucking guy who witnessed these events,
Yeah, wasn't it like
supposedly.
hundreds or thousands of years later?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so, I don't take the Bible to heart like that. I
Gotcha.
just I just follow the simple teachings of Jesus. Be a good person, love thy neighbor.
The Ten Commandments.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah,
But
it's like so it's more like a spiritual thing rather than like something that you're just reading something from, I guess, right?
yeah.
So you're not really basing it off the book, but it's more like the spiritual effect where you're just trying to, be happy internally, right? By doing good things.
Yeah. So cuz from what I understand, right? As long as you don't murder anybody, you're pretty much going to go to heaven, you
All
know.
right.
Um so that lit a fire in me to do all these devious, mischievous things that I've been doing but felt bad about.
Yeah.
And then I watched something that normally would put me in a depressive state,
Okay.
and it didn't.
I'm curious to
Felt
know what that
I felt
is.
good about it. I can't say it on this
Okay. So you
podcast.
watched something that kind of um well, did something trigger it, or was it just that moment where you realized it and then you watched it and you realized like you don't feel the same like you would?
Because like for a while I had an issue with porn.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch porn, and then after I would just be like why the fuck am I doing this?
Yeah.
I would get
Yeah.
into one of those moods.
Gotcha.
But I went back to porn, and then I upped the ante by watching something really fucked up,
Shit.
and I felt good about myself after.
All right.
I didn't have that depressive feeling anymore.
Yep.
And then I started pointing it to like other aspects of my life where for a while I was having sex with a bunch of people
Mm-hmm.
and I would feel bad. But now I'm like fucking ready to go back and start having sex with a bunch of people, man.
So you had like the realization, like I better just do this now.
Like, I don't see people I've been banging as pointless anymore.
Yeah.
I see it as these are people that I may only meet once, but I get to bang them, and then I get to move on with my life
Now,
to bang on more people.
why did you feel guilty about that prior? Like, did you feel like you were using them, or like what caused this guilt trip, basically?
It was more like just like the thought of random hookups being useless.
Mm,
Like they're not me working towards something,
yeah.
So that's how I would look at them. Like, I hook up with this person, it's like meaningless.
Okay.
That's why it would mess me up mentally,
All
because I
right.
wouldn't see it as like a good time. Like just straight off the bat, it would be I'm just gonna have sex with this one person one time, and that's that.
Yeah. But yeah, the whole thing about feeling bad about watching porn, or a lot of people also feel guilty about masturbating as well.
Yeah,
But usually that stems from like coming from a religious background, because you were always told that you couldn't do these things, and it's just human nature that a man's gonna masturbate at some point.
yeah.
So it's basically you grow up that way in a strict household. You're not supposed to do these things. And what do you think that teenagers are gonna do? I know I was doing that back in the day, jacking
Same.
off. I didn't feel guilty, but if I did come from a
I
religious
didn't know what
background
guilt
like
was
that,
back then. Yeah,
yeah, I can imagine what kind of like depression that would lead to, for sure, if you were doing something that was supposed to be a sin, essentially.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, I imagine lots of people struggle with that.
It's funny, like since I had this epiphany, I'm actually okay with not having a kid.
Whoa,
Yeah. Before I was like, no,
that's
I
groundbreaking.
gotta have a kid. But now I'm like, you know what?
And you were so in a rush to
If
find
I,
someone to have a kid with.
yeah, now it's like, do I really even want a kid? Because if I have a kid, I can't do all this other fun shit that I'm supposed to be doing.
Yep.
Because
The idea is nice.
I only get one shot in this life,
Yeah.
Do I want to ruin it by having a kid?
Yeah. And in our modern society, it's pretty okay not to have a kid. There's even a subreddit for people who aren't going to have kids, like by choice.
Yeah,
And they basically talk about all the things that they could do or have been doing because they don't have kids.
yeah.
So that's like a big movement. Even even if you do have kids, there's a lot of people who are waiting till much later than traditionally.
Yeah, maybe I'll wait till I'm like 40 or something.
Yeah, I mean you can. Yeah. And then women could freeze their eggs too.
Yeah,
So I
there's
mean, with
options
our
now.
tech, it's
It's
possible.
pretty solid.
Yeah, I don't know if you could be like 80 and still have kids, but
I mean, what was that?
you could even do it at 40 or 50 if you're
What
a
was that
guy.
one guy? I think like maybe Alec Baldwin. He was still pumping out kids even up till today, and he's like,
Yeah,
I think he's like almost 70.
yeah.
I mean, men can have
Kids
kids for. I mean,
much later.
they could be 80, still have kids.
Yeah.
It's a shame on the kid because basically the kid's not gonna know who you are. You know.
Yeah, if you have it like at 50, by the time the kid's 20, you'll be
He's
like
just
fucking
70. Yeah,
70. And depending on how active you are, you
that's true.
can be
Yeah,
okay at that time, or you'll just be old as fuck and shriveled up.
yeah.
But
Which then your kid won't have to worry about you.
yeah.
Because you're gonna die anyway.
And do you know the term um where people basically think everything's pointless because nothing means anything? There's actually a term for that.
Um,
And
I
it's actually like a philosophy.
I don't know. No.
I don't know how you pronounce it, but I believe it's nihilism.
Oh, nihilism. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
nihilism.
Gotcha,
So yeah, it's basically where you believe nothing matters.
gotcha.
Yeah. And some people just naturally feel that way. Even with Gabby,
Hmm.
cuz she struggles with depression at times as well.
Yeah.
It's more like a mood, or it's like a seasonal thing basically.
Oh, damn.
So certain
I hope
seasons.
what I said didn't offend her.
Oh, she doesn't get offended easily.
Oh, okay.
But what you say, it's pretty. I think she would appreciate it. Basically, just to
I mean, it's
see.
crazy to say. Like, I just fixed my depression like that,
Yeah,
all because I had an epiphany.
yeah. Well, we should all be congratulating you. Uh,
I mean, definitely feel a lot better
yeah,
than how I was feeling.
because it must feel. I can't even imagine just waking up and just feeling like,
Nothing matters.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
And is all
horrible.
depression like that, where you feel nothing matters, or is that a type of depression?
I I don't know, to be honest, but from what I've heard other people talk about depression, it kind of sounds like it. Like
Yeah,
they just have a feeling that nothing matters.
yeah, yeah.
So,
And not only
yeah,
that, some people on top of that have a self hatred as well. So
yeah,
pair that with self hatred,
it's
and
not a
you
good
have
mix.
for a very toxic combo right there.
Yeah.
And the sad thing is that it's up to you to kind of overcome that too.
I mean, if you are depressed, you should definitely get help. Don't try to self-diagnose yourself like me or try to fix it yourself like me.
Yeah,
I'm just one instance of what it could have possibly just worked out,
yeah.
but to get professional help, I mean, sometimes depression could be as simple as just a chemical imbalance
Oh
where
yeah,
they just give
many
you where they
times.
just give you a shot of like B12 or some shit,
Yeah.
and then you just feel 10 times better.
I say a majority of the time it's a chemical imbalance.
That's crazy, man. The
Yeah.
brain is a fucking weird
It's like
thing.
your levels are off.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then some activities actually help with balancing out your, chemical levels as
Yeah, they say
well,
if you
like
have depression, you should
exercise, good
exercise. Yeah.
diet, and that right there, um if you even think you're starting to have depression, just do those things. Like he said,
Try
don't
it out.
self-evaluate, but there's no harm in also trying to exercise or
Yeah.
have a good diet first.
Yeah.
But
Those are good even if you don't have depression.
yeah, but whether you're going to the doctor to get medicated, or even for the people who are uh basically trying to help themselves instead of getting help from a doctor, it still takes initiative one way or the other,
Yeah.
because you had to make that choice. Okay, I'm gonna go to the doctor, which is probably, when you're depressed, that doesn't sound very easy to do.
It's not.
And or if you even want to exercise, just knowing like, oh, I had to exercise. There's always some sort of push that you need to do in order to even start
Yeah.
to help yourself.
That's good advice, man.
Yep. But fuck.
But yeah, so thank God I fixed my depression from that, and
That's good to
I'm ready
hear,
to get
man.
back out there.
Yeah.
Ready to fuck.
Words of encouragement out there. If
Words of
you want to
encouragement,
fuck,
dude.
get yourself a doctor. Or do what this guy did,
Have an
which he's not
epiphany.
recommending.
Have an epiphany.
Have an epiphany. Yeah, it's crazy. I think
Yeah,
mental
man.
health in this country is not the best. I'm sure it's not the worst, but because there's other countries that
Just
really
don't
kind
believe
of,
in that stuff.
yeah, but there's also countries where they actually, like, the government is actually a resource, where ours is not really like that.
Yeah. We have to go to private companies to get help.
Private companies, and you got to be referred by this doctor to that doctor, see that specialist, things like that.
Dude, the way the system is with these private companies is fucking bullshit, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I had my tonsils were all swollen and shit.
Yep.
I got like antibiotics from Mexico like multiple times.
Yeah.
And I went to the fucking, to the doctor over here where we live, and I gave him my spiel, told him my story. I told him that I already had antibiotics given to me multiple times, and they still prescribed me antibiotics. They're like, all right, take these, come back in 2 weeks,
Well,
and then we could take it from there. And then
the cat just walked
what
into
the
me.
fuck? Yeah, meow.
Oh my god.
All right, hold on. Yeah, I'll edit this together.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Yep.
And we're back. Sorry about that, everybody. A strange cat just wandered into the room. What was I saying?
You were saying, oh, weren't we talking about the private
Oh
insurance
yeah.
companies?
So I got antibiotics. I went to the doctor here. Um, they told me to come back in 2 weeks. I'm like, fuck. I take the antibiotics. 2 weeks later I come back. Told them I still feel like shit.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, we'll schedule an appointment to get them taken out. I'm like, all right. So then I had to wait another two
Oh
weeks.
my God.
And then when I finally got the surgery, the doctor told me, like, why didn't you come in sooner?
What?
I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, your tonsils were so swollen. You only had like this much airway of your throat
What?
open when you were sleeping.
That sounds dangerous.
Because
Oh, it
when,
was like sleep apnea?
because when, no, like I could sleep just fine, but when I was sleeping, because my tonsils were so swollen,
Yeah.
they would cut off my airway. So I would almost like choke in my sleep.
Yeah. Dang. Which is
Yeah.
probably similar to sleep apnea, only sleep apnea is probably like in the nose, like your
Yeah.
airwaves in the nose.
Yeah.
And maybe, yeah, and maybe, I don't know if it has anything to do with the throat, but usually it's all connected, ear, nose, and throat, right?
Yeah, they are.
ENT.
They are. Nose
Yeah.
and throat are connected.
So
It's one
that's
airway.
scary.
Definitely, man. It's
You
like
know, I always used
fucking
to,
nurse doctor.
yeah. So one of the things I heard is, like for me, is I snore and sometimes it seems like I'm choking in my dreams or in my sleep. Like I'm barely, like there's times where I stop breathing and then breathe, like in
Yeah,
gasp air.
that's
But the last
crazy.
experiment I did, well, it was a experiment by mistake actually, because I started doing the carnivore diet.
Yeah,
And then once I was fully into it, apparently I had stopped snoring, period.
interesting.
Yeah. So there was
I think it was
not
all that
one,
phlegm from the carbs.
I don't know. Something about the diet
Yeah,
helped, which is kind of strange, but that's what it is. So yeah,
yeah,
it's I really want to get back into that diet, but it's hard.
definitely.
Like this last time
Temptation everywhere.
I just did like 2 weeks recently and then suddenly I just ate fast food and then I just stopped.
Yeah,
I just stopped doing it. So maybe I could do another go around. I'm going to stick to it.
and that's the point. Yeah, you just gotta keep trying, man,
Yeah.
until it finally sticks.
I did it for a good 2 years before.
There you go.
Yeah.
How'd you
But
feel during those 2 years?
amazing.
There you go.
Yeah.
You just gotta get back into it. You could do it, man. I believe in you.
Even then it's more of like as long as you're consistent, right? You could have carbs, but as long as you mainly focus on
Get back
eating
on
good
it
shit,
the
yeah,
next day. Yeah,
and you lose weight almost right away.
super fast.
Yeah. Like this last round, I think I almost lost like around 15 pounds within 2 weeks.
Damn.
Yeah. So I fluctuate between pounds like that whenever I do diets. A lot of it's water weight, I would imagine. About 7 pounds probably is water weight.
Nice.
'Cause you don't,
Still, you feel super skinny, right?
yeah.
Even with the
Just more
water weight
light.
loss. Yeah.
Yeah. More energy levels. What else? Obviously, you sleep better.
You feel stronger.
Yep. Stronger, faster. That would have been really good if I paired it with actual exercise, but I never
Hell
do.
Even
It's-
if you lifted like a 35-pound kettlebell,
I do have one.
could have been ripped.
Yeah. I imagine kettlebells are expensive nowadays, now that Corona's a thing.
Definitely are. Yeah. I bought a 50-pound kettlebell and it cost me 110.
Whoa.
Yeah, because the price of kettlebells went up to 250 a pound, and
Yep.
they were being generous with that price. I've
Damn.
seen other people sell them for 275, 325.
And you said you got a 50-pound one?
Yeah,
That shit sounds heavy.
and it's fucking crazy, man. Because before the pandemic, the weights were $1.10 a pound, and then after the pandemic, when everybody realized they were staying inside all day, they're like, "Oh, might as well work out. Oh, I don't have any weights. I'll go buy some." And
Yeah,
then people saw the
everyone.
demand, and prices went up.
Yep. Supply and demand, right?
Yeah. And then for a long time, fucking, you couldn't find weights anywhere. I went to Walmart, Target, Again,
Not
big
even
sporting
Amazon
goods.
had it. And if they
No.
did, there was like
They didn't
third
have any
party
workers,
sellers
yeah.
who would sell it for like a shitload of money.
Yeah.
So
It's
yeah, if
funny.
you have a kettlebell right now, good job.
Hell yeah. You can sell it online for a shitload of money.
And you can work out every part of your body with the kettlebell.
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. Which is strange because you only use a kettlebell with your hands, like your two hands. There's
Yeah.
no real other way to do it, but you could target certain parts of your body by positioning yourself like in different ways.
And like a squat, kettlebell to your chest.
Yep. All of those. And it's fun.
Makes me feel like I'm a Russian circus
Yeah.
performer.
And I think it did start with the Russians for sure.
Those old school strongmen. Yeah.
Yeah. With those big mustaches.
Yeah, those things are cool.
But yeah, it's hopefully I do start to exercise more for sure.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know where our diet's going.
Yeah.
I think we could wrap this one up.
All right.
Thank you everybody for tuning in to another episode of the Huevos con Weenies podcast. We will be back next Wednesday with another episode.
Check us out
Hopefully
every
that one
Wednesday.
will be more Excite Bite.
More Excite Bite.
And follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Con Weenies. We are also on TikTok at Con Weenies. And
Sounds delicious.
you can follow me on my Instagram and Twitter at _JTHECREATOR. And you can follow Purple Suns at
Instagram, purplesuns_X, and I give drugs _ at Twitter.
And then send us an email with any questions or concerns at mail@huevosconweenies.com.
Yay!
I think that's pretty much it.
All right,
for that
guys.
outro.
Thanks for joining
Catch you guys
us.
later.
Catch you guys later.